Hey everybody, welcome to the first video in the build video series on this car. And to do that, first we need to give the car, the project, a name. So what we decided after kicking around, it's a Lincoln Town car, so this is going to be the out-of-town car since we're putting a bunch of off-road stuff on it. So for Project Out-of-Town Car, what we have before me is a whole bunch of parts. Got a roof rack from Sport Rack, kind of a universal setup because they don't really make one for this car. Complete front strut assemblies. The lift kit from Lifta brand with rear shocks for the extended travel, and then front upper A-arms with ball joints, and then front brake rotors and front brake pads. The theory on the new, and I know this is a gambler, so we're technically having a budget here, but we went a little bit over because, number one, the struts and front A-arms are actually not that expensive. I think total for all four pieces was only like $269 delivered to the door, so not bad. But looking at a couple of install videos for similar Panther projects that have done this lift kit, it looks like dropping that lower A-arm to get the strut out is a pain in the ass to get everything back together once you get it done. So the theory is we will disconnect that front ball joint on the upper A-arm, drop that assembly, unscrew the front strut, take it out, and then we'll remove those A-arms to get all those out, and then once we have the new struts and pucks in with the lift kit, put brand new A-arms in. That way we have nice new ball joints and new hardware in there, and it should, in theory, be nice and easy. Now, we never say nice and easy because it is an old rusty car. Inevitably stuff breaks or snaps, or we're going to have to get heat involved, and it can always be so fun working on old cars. So what we're going to do now is get the car up on jack stands, start PB blasting all the nuts and bolts we're going to have to take off of it. And then tomorrow, we'll also add it to the episode, is we are going to go take the wheels that we bought from Facebook Marketplace and go get nice new off-road tires put on them at Bell Tire. So that should be fun. We're going to put 31s on here. It should look pretty good. Speaking of Facebook Marketplace, also got a nice police push bar that we mentioned before. That we're going to get put on the car as well. So we'll be pulling the front bumper off, pulling some of the impact padding out from behind the bumper, putting the new brackets on, and then we're going to have to cut through that front bumper to get that put on. So hopefully it's Thursday. It's a coronavirus quarantine Thursday in Southeast Michigan, and it's early spring. So hopefully by the end of the weekend, we should have all this stuff done and should be able to take the car, knock on cardboard, for a drive. So hope you guys enjoy the build series in this first episode, and yeah, here we go. Let's get the car up on jack stands. Hey everybody, so got the wheels and tires off the car, went ahead and gave everything we're going to be taking apart a nice coat of rust penetrant, try and help us out as much as we can. Nice old rusty car. So did the ball joint nut, the two inner nuts for the upper A-arm, the lower nut where the strut connects to the lower control arm, did the nuts on top where the strut connects to the mount, and then all the brake nuts we're going to try and take off. These are notorious for snapping off and braking, so we're going to take our time with those. Hopefully don't have any major issues with these caliper pins or anything like that, but it's an old rusty car. We'll take our time. And then we'll take a look now and move to the back, and we'll see what the back looks like. All right, so the back looks about the same. Looking at the brakes back here, these rotors are toast, so may think pretty hard about actually putting some new rotors on here. But for now, we're just going to take, and what we are going to do is we're going to have to get a spring compressor in the morning from the tool parts store, compress those rear springs, move those, And we'll also take and blast, because we're going to do new shocks. We'll do the nuts at either end for the shock. Make sure those are nice and loose. So we'll have new shocks. We'll have the hats that go on the bottom, or I guess I shouldn't call them hats. We'll have the spacers on the bottom of the springs. We'll put those on the axle. We'll compress the springs down. We'll kick that axle down nice and low. Hopefully lifted the vehicle up. I think we've got enough room. And we'll put those in there. We'll put the new shocks on. Probably get some brakes while we're out tomorrow for the rear. Put the new brakes on. And then we'll have new brakes and new suspension all the way around. And we'll be lifted and we'll be ready for 31-inch tires. So speaking of, now we've got to run to Home Depot and get our tires put on. So good morning. We're on our way to Bell Tire. We got our Crown Vic Steelies that we got off Facebook Marketplace loaded up. We're going to drop those off. Ordered some Toyo Open Country All-Terrain 2s, 31-inch tires that are going to go on there. Really excited to see how those are going to look on the car. But that'll be our last stop before we should have all the parts to at least get the lift and the front push bar installed this weekend and take the car out for a drive. Hopefully by end of day tomorrow, Saturday, but if not, as you know how these projects go, might be likely a Sunday drive. So really excited to get all these parts back to the garage and get cracking.